Okay, so now we're going to test the eyes. I'm just looking externally and looking for symmetry. I see that it is symmetric. The palpebral fissures are symmetric. The nasolabial folds are symmetric. Eyebrows are symmetric, and eyelashes look healthy. I'm just going to feel around the lacrimal glands. Do you feel any tenderness?
No.
So there's no tenderness, no protrusion, and they seem to be good. Okay, so now I'm going to just pull down on your eyes, and if you could look up for me. Okay, so the conjunctiva is pink and white closer to the sclera. The sclera is white bilaterally. The cornea is clear and smooth bilaterally. Iris is round and has even coloration, and it's flat. And then I'm going to test your pupils. So I'm just going to take a ophthalmoscope, and if you could look straight ahead. Okay. So pupils are equally round and reactive to light. There is direct and consensual reaction. Okay. I'm going to do the vision test. So the patient already did a Snellen test, and she had 20/20 vision, meaning that she saw at 20 feet what a normal eye sees at 20 feet. And now I'm going to do the near vision test and take the Jaeger card, put it at 14 centimeters, and ask her to read the smallest print. If you could read that line.
42879 EWMOOX.
Very good, thank you. And now we'll do the confrontation test. So if you could hold this to your eye, I'll hold the opposite eye, and when you see my wiggling fingers, just tell me when. So 50-degree angle?
No.
90?
No. No.
Okay, and switch around.
No. No. No.
All right, very good. Now I am going to turn off the light and use the ophthalmoscope. Okay. So I'm starting off at a 15-degree angle, and I'm looking for the red eye reflex, which is present. Her pupil is red. Now I'm going to move in and look at her optic disc, which is a creamy yellow-orange color. I see the arteries and the veins present. There doesn't seem to be any dilation or constriction. There is no nicking, and the arteries seem to be brighter and thinner. The macula is a darker color than the general background, which is a brownish reddish color. Actually, I am going to turn the light back on, and we are going to test the corneal light reflex. So I'm just going to ask you to look at my nose. And I see the light showing equally on the same spot on both eyes. So, good. Now I will do the cardinal gaze. So just follow the tip of my pen. Okay, so her extraocular muscles are working, and cranial nerves 3, 4, and 6 are present and working. Okay, so now we are going to move on to your ears, and I'm just inspecting externally to make sure that there is no tenderness. Is there tenderness on your mastoid here? On your pinna or your tragus? I'll check on the other side. No tenderness. Okay. So I am going to look inside her ear, and alright, so I am pulling it up and back, and looking that there's everything is clear. There's some cerumen, but there is no inflammation, swelling, or any type of discharge. I'm going to go in and look at her tympanic membrane, which is pearly gray and shiny. And her cone light reflex is anterior inferior position. Then I'm going to do the hearing test. So I'm going to ask you to just plug your opposite ear and repeat the words that I'm telling you. Plane, dog, house. Okay, and I'm going to switch to the other side.
Plane, dog, house.
All right, very good. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to her nose. The nose seems to be symmetric and there's no deviation. If you can plug one side for me and breathe out, and then the other. Okay, so the nose seems to be patent. I'm going to look inside and checking for any deviation at the septum. No, the turbinates I see inferior and middle, and there is the mucosa is smooth, red, and moist. Okay. I'm going to check her smell. So I'm just going to spray some perfume. And can you tell me what you smell?
It's like flowers.
All right, very good. And now I am going to inspect your mouth. So I'm going to look inside. Externally, the patient has pink lips, there's no cracks present, and there seems to be no lesions or any type of issue. Looking in, say ah. Okay, so there is pink, moist mucosa. The ventral part of the tongue is smooth and the back is more rough. Looking at the teeth, they are white and evenly dispersed, and they seem to have no issues at all. Buccal mucosa is smooth and pink, and the can you lift up your tongue? Smooth, and there is no nodules as visible. And now I'm just going to feel around in your mouth just to make sure there's no nodules. Okay, now I'm going to take the tongue depressor and just check for gag reflex. Okay, gag reflex is present. I'll ask you to say ah. Uvula goes up, so cranial nerves 9 and 10 are present. I'm gonna check taste. So if you can tell me what you taste.
Salt.
Okay. And now you can tell me what you taste.
Like sweet.
Okay. So cranial nerve 9 and the taste is present. Okay. So moving on, I am going to assess the neck and checking that everything is symmetric. I see no visible pulsations. I'm going to feel her cervical lymph nodes. So starting off, we have submental, and then we have submandibular, submandible. Then we go up and we have the preauricle. Behind we have postaurical, occipital, jugular-digastric. We have the superficial cervical and the deep cervical chain. Okay, and then if you could go like that for me. Your posterior cervical, and then up here is supraclavicular, and they are smooth, movable, and no tenderness present. Did you feel any tenderness when I was doing that? Okay. So no tenderness present. I am now going to check her carotid pulse to assess for any bruits using my bell. Okay, and no bruits are heard. Okay, and so now I am going to check for the trachea to make sure that there is no shift. It seems to be midline. I'm going to ask you just to shift your position this way while I check the thyroid gland. So going behind, stabilizing my hands and moving the thyroid, the trachea to the left. I'll ask you to swallow. And I feel the thyroid gland move up and down. Now I'm going to ask you to shrug your shoulders against my resistance. Okay, so cranial nerve 11 is present. And if you can move your neck forward and backward, and then side to side. Okay, so the patient has good range of motion with her neck muscles, and there seems to be no obvious limitations. Okay, I think we did a good assessment, and that is it.